It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
Let me tell you what else happened yesterday that was a little concerning to me. So, State Representative Brant Smith ran a resolution condemning CARE, an organization called, that's CARE's acronym. It stands for the Center for American Islamic Relations. You'll remember them because, well, let me tell you, like, what they tell you is that their mission is to build bridges between the Islamic world and the American world. It's a one-way bridge, though, because we're not putting any churches in Mecca anytime soon. I can tell you that right now. It's a one-way bridge, but, of course, CARE is an unindicted co-conspirator in the Holy Land trials. CARE is a way to, they funnel money to terrorist groups. They're affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhood. They're a very, very, very terrible, terrible, terrible group. So State Representative Brant Smith, who has intimate knowledge of radical Islamic terrorism because he spent time in the Middle East, a great deal of time, I think 65 months. He wrote a resolution, and it was a resolution backed by the Center for Security Policy, which is Frank Gaffney's group, a really, really good group. You'll remember one of the spokespersons for that group, spokesman Colonel Paul Deckert. He's been on the program many times. Anyway, it failed to get out of committee. This was a resolution that was going to urge law enforcement to not have anything to do with CARE. See, what CARE is trying to do is they're going to law enforcement officers, and they are attempting to offer classes. Like, I don't know if they're sensitivity classes, but they're trying to go around law enforcement and reach out to them. And this was a resolution that was going to allow law enforcement to say thanks, but no thanks. There was no one in the audience that was signed up to speak for the bill. More importantly, there was no one in the audience signed up to speak against the bill. And it failed with 10 votes. It needs 11 to get out of the House. And there were a few Republicans who just didn't vote at all.
Roll call.
Yeah. That's the sound of Josh Roll Call Waters' voice. So anyway, they did a roll call vote. And, well, yeah, let me see this here. So, let's see here. The yays were Rebecca Petty, Mickey Gates, Danny Watson, Jim Wooten, Cindy Crawford, Keith Slape, Jason Kelly, Brian Evans, Stu Smith, Sonia Eubanks Barker was a yes. The nays were John Walker, no surprise there, Leanne Birch, Julie Mayberry, Don Glover, Denise Garner, Jay Richardson, and Tippy McCullough. The non-voting, you had Sarah Kapp not voting. Craig Christensen didn't vote, but he wasn't there. By the way, our thoughts and prayers to Craig Christensen, because I understand he had like 80% blockage or something like that, but he's fine. He's fine. Well, I think it was actually AFib is what it was. Anyway, but he's doing good. Our thoughts and our prayers are with him and his family. And then we had a no vote from the chair of this committee, which, by the way, is Aging Children and Youth Legislative and Military Affairs. So I guess that's why they put it here. But Representative Charlene Fite did not vote. It was really perplexing to me why a bill essentially denouncing a group that is really one and the same with the terrorist organizations, but it's kind of like a front group. Why something like this couldn't pass, and it wasn't even a bill; it was just a resolution. I mean, it's not it shouldn't even been controversial at all, and yet it became controversial. I don't know if they're going to rework it or whatever, but I just found that to be really disturbing, I guess. Not really sure why that would happen. Why? I don't know what all the reasonings are for not voting or for, the chair is always the last person that gets the opportunity to vote. And so when it got to State Representative Charlene Fite, and there were already 10 yes votes, all she had to say was yeah, and she just chose not to vote, which effectively killed the bill. And I was like, I don't understand what is so hard about a resolution. I mean, there was some talk about how this is none of the state legislators' business to do something like this. But if they're approaching law enforcement in other states or in Arkansas, I mean, if they're approaching law enforcement in other states, it's only a matter of time before they approach law enforcement here if they haven't done it already. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was kind of a painful committee to be in yesterday because of all that.